Well, how many reps can you do?
15 or 20, more if I'm showing on.
Well, why don't you show off for me?
I never waste effort in the gym. Besides, I'm beta, you're VHS. Hi!
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Jared.
Do you like fitness?
I love fitting this whole pizza into my mouth.
No, Dan, that's bad. I'm talking about real physical fitness.
Oh, dude. I was not part of the presidential or the residential fitness in middle school. So I think it was residential. No, it's presidential.
There's presidential fitness?
Yeah, like it was like a presidential fitness award, and then there was one other one, and I never qualified. I couldn't do a pull-up.
Tangent. Hey, guys, this is the Old Boys Podcast.
Tangent.
Could anyone do a pull-up? If you could do a pull-up, you were a grown-ass man. And you need to leave the school. Yeah, there's a lot of grown-ass men.
Oh, man. So, Jared, I think I know what you're saying.
Yes.
About fitness.
Yes, and how important it is to kill everyone. I mean fitness. I'm sorry, did I say something that was funny?
I don't know. I thought I heard something. Maybe not.
No, I'm just saying that, it's important to work on your body, and you really get those muscles strong, so
yeah, of course.
When you strangle someone, they can't get away.
See, there it is again. I'm not...
Huh? What?
I feel like...
I'm sorry?
I feel like I need to call somebody, but I guess you're referring to this film that you assigned last week called Death Spa.
Death Spa.
And before we get anywhere... I want to address some confusion that I had.
Sure.
In the 80s, spa meant full-scale gym.
Maybe it just meant that in this movie.
I think that's true.
This gym or whatever this thing is so many different things that don't make sense.
Star Body Health Spa is what it's called.
Yeah, the Star Body Health Spa in this movie that we had watched. This is a movie podcast, by the way. Hello.
Hi.
It's everything. It's a dance studio. It's a weird meetup place. It's a spa. It's a gym.
It's a party house.
It's a place where you can be completely oblivious to anything that's going on around you. It also cannot be shut down.
It's a horror house. There's a ghost in the shell of this house that is run by technology.
Yeah, buddy. There's a ghost in the ghost of the shell.
Yes.
There is.
This movie gets very confusing very
There is a
quickly.
man in the ghost of the shell.
Yes. And the movie doesn't do any justice in explaining whether or not that's true or anything.
Okay, guys. Watch this movie. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
This is my...
This movie, it looks like it's going to be a shitty exploitation feature, but it's actually one of the most uniquely written horror stories of the 1980s.
Yeah.
It blew my mind away. This film got me back on the right track of being a good old boy.
Mm-hmm.
I took notes on this film, and I vowed after watching this movie that I will always take notes from now on. So, look at that.
Danny, you're beaming. You're aglow with new energy and hope for the future.
I got lazy for several episodes. I'm not even going to tell you how many. I just stopped taking notes. But now...
There's some movies where I didn't take notes.
But I just went on a thing of, I'm just not going to fucking do it. I'm just going to watch it the night before and just go by my memory. No, this was too intense not to just say what was on my mind.
Too many things. Too many death scenes we have to cover in great detail.
I don't know. Where do you want to start? I'm good to go.
I think those are our first impressions. I will say the movie does kind of fall apart at the end, but it is ridiculous. So
yes.
It's almost okay. But you turn your freaking brain off for this movie.
Well, I mean, typically whenever I go into a 1980s horror film, I do turn my brain, unless it's high class, Halloween, like the big firsts, like Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, The Thing, like things that we have, like, attributed these cultural phenomenon to, but if it's a sequel to Halloween, I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking watch this because I want to watch it, you know?
Yeah, and you were right in saying that this movie is very interesting story-wise.
Yes!
There's a lot going on. There's some pretty intense scenes between characters, and I'm, like, invested in the story. Like, oh, shit, okay, this is interesting.
And you
I like
get
where
all
this is
these
going.
insane deaths as, like, you know, your icing.
Dressing, yeah. It's pretty great. I like a lot of the buildup of this intrigue of what's going on. I also like the weird red herring misdirect with that David character who is the twin brother of the woman who killed herself, and how you're like, oh, he's obviously not the villain because he's too evil. But no, he's the villain.
Yeah.
He's definitely the bad guy, and they just like don't care if they make it that obvious.
Yeah.
There's a few misdirects in the movie, which I did enjoy.
Well, I mean, some of those misdirects, like, fooled me, too.
Yeah. And they did a pretty interesting job. Now, there's a weird thing with... So, in this death spa, there is...
The Star Betty Health Spa.
Yes. Which the lights get messed up and turn into death spa, which is so cheesy.
But it's the 80s, you can forgive it.
Oh, I love it. And the bright colors and the outfits of people working out, they're like in big yellows, and it's so good. It's so ridiculous. There is a computer system that runs everything in the gym.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm reading some of my notes and remembering these characters.
This thing is a giant metal monolith with two really tiny baby
a computer
TVs
from the 80s.
Think about your typical supercomputer, but make it shittier and with less lights.
Yes.
And that's what it is. And I love it. I love old-timey looking technology.
So basically,
like
my understanding is the guy who owns and operates this gym is actually a tech whiz who basically just built this computer, and he's like, what am I going to do with this? And he built a gym around it. And then all of a sudden, he's like sex idol number one.
Well, his brother-in-law, so there's the owner of the gym, Mike, who's the main character, in quotes. He's kind of an asshole, but and there's some bad things about him that get brought up later because he cheats on his wife and stuff. Mm-hmm. But that actually makes him more interesting of a character because he seems like an okay dude, but is also kind of a scumbag. So you're like, he's got pros and cons. I think more bad things should have happened to him, but whatever.
Well, I mean, you have to save room for, like, the police chief that shouldn't be there in the first... The dim-witted police chief, by the way, because I have some stuff to talk about him.
But what about his sidekick, that cool lady?
Yeah, the one who should have been the police chief from the get-go, and that was perfect.
She was badass. I think she lives, too.
The character that I can only refer to as balding information dump. Because that's what he was. He had no name.
Or the psychic.
Or the psychic.
The fucking psychic. Holy shit, man. That was so much fun.
Isn't that the same person?
Oh, I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah.
The dude with the EKG meter. He's got a little flashlight dildo he waves around and asks if there's spirits.
We just got to get into this. All right. Let's set the scene here.
Okay.
You set it up. Oh, wait, no. Do I set it up? No, I'm
And by set the scene, I mean you do it.
By set the scene, I mean I'll tell you to do it, but I'm going to do it.
Let me introduce some of the characters at least. So we have...
Hold up.
Hey!
So Mike owns the shit, and then shit starts going haywire and killing people in his gym. And then he starts to be like, what's doing this? Mm-hmm. And then he starts to blame the people who want to buy his gym.
Well, he also has dreams about his ex-wife.
So he doesn't know who's doing this. Mm-hmm. But a lot of shit happens, and a lot of people die, and then his wife comes back from the dead, and...
Catherine.
That's basically it.
No, his wife, Catherine, goes into the body of her own brother, who she has ghost sex with.
Oh my god, dude. This film... I don't know how I feel about films that, like, give you a way to... ground it in reality, where it's like, oh, it's him dressing in drag, but then it's actually her possessing him. It's
really weird, yeah. Because you think it's going to be a psycho thing, which it kind of is.
Yeah, but then it actually is supernatural, and you're like, I don't know. I feel like I'm being used.
It almost feels like, why even do this possession of this guy? She doesn't even need a body to kill people. She doesn't even have to be there to kill people. She doesn't need the machine that controls the gym to kill people. The whole mechanism of controlling every aspect of the gym and then killing people with that is almost pointless because there's the supernatural element. So at first you think, oh, there's someone in the gym and they're using the supercomputer to heat up the spa and hurt people or whatever.
Yeah.
And then later on, like we said, we just find out, no, it's a ghost possessing her own brother to use the machine to hurt people, but also they don't need the machine and they can just kill you by throwing a hammer just right at you. It doesn't matter. They can just poltergeist their way and just murder you. They don't even have to use the actual gym. So it's
So if you suspend your disbelief just a little bit, you can just go on this ride with us. It's great.
Well, no, I didn't have a problem suspending my disbelief.
I'm not saying you. I know you didn't.
It was just a little confusing.
It's the more we talk about it, the more just why would you be watching this? It is a good, coherent movie. Don't worry.
It actually is, for the most part. So we have Mike as the main character.
Yes.
We have that's all you need to know about him. He's the main character.
That's really all you need to know about him.
And he cheats on his wife.
Wait, there's something else that we do need to bring up, or
Sure.
we do need to know about him, but I will bring up whenever we talk about his love interest.
Okay. So Mike was married to Catherine, and
Catherine?
something happened to where they had a kid, or something happened to the kid, and she was so distraught by it that she set herself on fire and killed herself in the most insane way, like a Buddhist monk protesting a war. She lit herself on fire. And Mike has visions of this all the time.
I don't think the film was very clear about this at all, but she was burned to unrecognizable ashes.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
the film doesn't say that enough, I don't think. But
And
it's very important to understand that the ashes were, in fact, unrecognizable.
The parallels between Catherine and this other character, Laura, who is Mike's new love interest. I was getting confused because she's burned too, and I'm like, are they talking about different characters or what's going on? And they don't bring up Catherine for a while. He just has weird dreams about her. So we have all those characters. We have David, I already mentioned.
Marvin.
Which one was Marvin?
He's the security guard dude.
Oh, yeah, that dude is
big...
great. He's the only guy I recognize.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's the other intimidating black guy from B movies who's not Tony Todd. God, what's his name? But anyway, he's from Dawn of the Dead, the sequel to Night of the Dead. We're all in the mall. That's the first time I ever saw him. But he's just a big dude, and he's really, really intimidating looking, and he's always a good bodyguard.
Yeah, and the friendship between him and Mark seems pretty genuine too.
You mean Mike?
Or Mike or whatever his name is. So I believe those are all the characters that matter. Oh, there's Tom, who's his business partner. Or no, he's his lawyer. So Tom is his lawyer. Tom and Mark. Oh, I keep saying Mark. Tom and Mike look exactly the same.
They do. I'm like, who's
That's
Tom
one of my
again?
first notes I wrote. I'm like, who is speaking? Who is who?
Really? That was your first note?
Well, I don't know. The first thing that stuck out to me, I was just like,
that was the first thing that stuck out to you? Okay, all right. Let's start this up. In the first 30 seconds of this movie, you have basically Flashdance, but with no music.
yeah.
Just this girl doing this aerobic workout, but there's no fucking music that she's dancing. I'm like, what is she doing here? And she's all alone in this spa gym.
Yep.
And what is the first thing she does after she has her workout?
Shower.
She opens a fucking bottle of wine and starts glugging it down.
I thought it was water or something.
No, that was wine. It was in a big, snifter-looking thing. It was a dark liquid. I'm like, really?
That's pretty great. Yeah, and then Marvin or whatever sneaks up on her. She's like, don't scare me like that. It was like a big fake out.
Yes.
And then she goes to the sauna or the shower or something. And the temperature of the water starts to hurt her, or there was some kind of chemical that got put into it.
It's a chemical. Because then the second time it was with all the girls.
Yeah, how do you even have a system that lets you put chemicals into the water? How does that even happen? I don't know. But she gets burned, and she manages to break a window to let out some of that steam. But they say that she's burned really badly. but it's only her eyeballs. Like, I thought her whole face was going to be burned. But no, it's just she can't see for a while.
While we're on it, we might as well bring it up. This is Mike's new girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
And very early on, we established that her defining characteristic is she now has gigantic bandages over her eyes. Right? Bandages over her eyes. She can't see. She's all bandaged up. Man, why can't I say bandaged?
Hey, I mean, we're all struggling today.
But that first scene where she comes back from the hospital with the bandages on, the first thing Mike does is like become all sensual and romantic with her, like whining and dining her. And I'm like, do you just like want to fuck her eye sockets, dude? Like, what's going on?
Oh, no.
So that's what I thought his defining characteristic trait would be. You know, he's just really into that weird stuff.
But yeah, that was a little weird. So there's this traumatic thing that happened. And you would think something is wrong with this system that is controlling the gym. And we need to shut down the gym or the spa. I mean, that would be the first thing you would do is shut it down and investigate what the fuck is going on. My other thing is, why would you have the gym control every aspect of what it can control?
You know, that's a good question.
Weird.
That's a very good question.
Why would you want it to control the things it can control? Because it can control the weight resistance of machines.
Yes.
Which sounds really fucking scary, that your weight can change at any moment.
Yes.
I mean, even if the system wasn't possessed by a ghost.
Do you think
glitches,
that we
failures?
could have, you know, just taken out the computer aspect and still have the same movie?
Yes, but I'd rather it would do the opposite. I'd rather have the ghost aspect of it go away,
and then
make his wife not actually burned to a crisp, but just really horribly disfigured.
Okay, well, no,
and just a regular person.
So,
it was crazy.
The reason why I bring up unrecognizable ashes, because the film keeps fucking saying it over and over and over again. I literally thought that was going to be a plot point where it's like they keep saying that it's unrecognizable, meaning we don't know if it was her or not. So she could very well be alive and just doing insurance fraud.
Yes, yeah.
But the film was not.
And maybe her
that
brother helped
complex.
Helped
yeah,
her
exactly.
cover it up or something. Yeah,
but it never went out that way. But what's more insane is they keep saying unrecognizable ashes, or at least the police do. And then later in the film, another character says the same exact line as if he was reading from the first 5 minutes of the script.
Yeah, you're right.
Like the psychic, he's like, yes, your wife, because he's getting a reading off of Mike. He's like, your wife, burned to unrecognizable ashes. Like, how'd you know that? Did you watch this movie?
Does the detective say it, or is it the psychic guy?
Both of them say that. The detective says it at the beginning, and I think it was not the chief. I think it was the really cool lady.
Oh,
who says
okay, I gotcha.
And then she seems skeptical, but then the psychic says the exact same thing that she says later on, as if like he was just reading the script in front of him. It was ridiculous.
I see that you've been burned to unrecognizable ashes. Take sip of coffee. Oh, I should do that.
I'm taking a sip of drink. I mean water. I mean drink.
Drink good. Penis bad. Gun good. Zardoz love
Penis
death
is
spa.
evil. The penis spreads seeds.
Yes, the penis. Sorry about that. That was a little break for us, even though they were still recording. All right. Yes, I feel like there are too many elements, and maybe there was an executive producer in this film who was like, I want a ghost, or like somebody put their dick into this movie when there was one too many dicks already, and probably muddied up the waters and made it a little weird. Because don't you feel like towards the end of the film, it was like, didn't this film just end and now we're still going? Like, what's going on here?
The amount of death scenes and just weird visuals that you get in this movie, I feel like that's the evidence of everybody's dick being in this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and some of the death scenes are really stupid, and some of them are amazing. Like, really fucking good.
Well, okay, now I'm confused. We're gonna have to... Okay, here's the deal. Whenever we go to each death scene, I want you to rate it either stupid or good, just to see where your mind is.
Yes. Yeah, we will definitely.
Some of them I feel are really good, but then now I'm wondering, are the ones that I think are good, are you going to think are stupid?
Yeah, well, that is the game we will play, my friend.
All right.
The game of cat and other cat. So we got the two detectives
Just got
who
that
show up.
joke.
Thank you. I like when Dan appreciates my jokes minutes later. I like to think after the podcast is turned off, Dan will just sit there and he'll take his headphones off and just go. He'll smile to himself and just kind of stare off over the horizon and go, that was a good joke. That was a good joke Jared did.
I do that. And I get all warm and fuzzy. A tear comes out my eye.
Yeah, little twinkles.
Yes.
A single tear of hope. So, hope is the theme of today's episode. Hope, my friends.
Oh my God.
There's always tomorrow. So, okay. We got the detectives. They're at the gym. They're like, hey, some crazy shit went down. We're trying to investigate. And they're trying to blame it on Mike or somebody. And Mike is like, yeah, I know somebody may have attacked my girlfriend or is a malfunction. We don't know. Let's go talk to David. David is a creepy, he does a good job in this movie. He's a creepy fucking dude.
Yes, he is.
I think acting gets overlooked in movies like this because you're like, whatever. But I feel like there's a lot of pretty good acting exercises in this movie of like how well certain characters are portrayed, if you will. So they go and talk to this guy, David, and he's got this blonde hair or whatever, and he's very dismissive demeanor. He clearly does not like Mike. Hey, Mikey, he doesn't like it, is the best you could describe that. And they don't like each other at all. And the only reason Mike keeps David there is because he knows how to run this system because he made the system for him. And he is the twin brother of his dead wife.
Brother-in-law.
Yeah. And so it's like he feels an obligation towards him in that respect because he's kind of family. And that he's the only one for some reason who knows how to control this machine. Even though there's another guy with him that is controlling. There's like some other random dude who also works there.
The guy at the very end who gets seduced.
Because like him and David are both sitting together and they're watching some dude lift weights. He's like, let's increase the weight on him. And they do it, and they're like, "Oh, I wish I could increase something else." And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't get it. They said something weird innuendo about some dude that they want to bone, I guess. But yeah, there's two of them. You could obviously train someone else and fire David because he's clearly evil. He says he didn't fuck with the machine. Everything is running well. He has an alibi for that night. So they're like, fuck, okay. So more bad things start happening while they're investigating. Diving board scene. So, I mean, not much happens there. No one dies. Yeah. But somebody had loosened the diving board. Yeah, kind of boring. She jumps, but then they're like, here's another thing that happened. So 2 accidents in the span of at least 2 days. Shut the fucking place down. Like, we need to figure this out. And what do? They don't even discuss shutting it down, I think, until the 3rd incident.
Well, I mean, it's kind of confusing whenever you are a spa or a gym. Mm-hmm. Like, they call themselves a spa, so I'm assuming they have to, follow spa guidelines. Spa guidelines typically would never say anything about, workout equipment or pools or shower. Well, maybe a shower. Like, I think they should have started to call things out whenever the shower shit happened.
Yeah. Oh, here's a few things during these scenes. We have a very intense conversation with Mark and David.
A word, David.
Can we keep it to that?
You're here because you know the system and because you're Catherine's brother.
Both circumstances must be terribly trying for you.
If I thought for one moment that you put chlorine in the steam
You'd resort to the only weapon in your pathetic arsenal, jock violence.
I think there's a glitch in your precious system.
That's impossible.
Why are you so full of hate?
You found some comfort for your sorrow, I notice. But then Laura was always there for you, wasn't she? She and others.
Well, I like this scene a lot because it establishes a lot of things quickly, but it doesn't feel like exposition dumpy kind of stuff. I don't know. I think they did a good job with it. It's basically, you understand David and Mike's relationship, that they don't like each other. And the reasoning of why David doesn't like Mike is because he cheats on his spouses, which he is currently cheating on Laura. Mm-hmm. And it is heavily implied that he cheated on Catherine with Laura. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, that's a good reason to not like this dude. And so they have this dynamic of like, he's kind of more jockey and like, oh, I want to solve things with violence. And David's like, I will use my brains to tell a machine to make violence on you. So I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic, I guess.
Can you tell me if we're anywhere near the first most interesting visual in the movie?
I'm not sure, but do you remember the football scene between Mike and his buddy, the bodyguard guy, and they're throwing a football back and forth like we're in a Tommy Wiseau film? Yeah. Like this is the fucking room.
Yeah,
He's like,
that.
"Go along, buddy," and they're just in his office throwing a football back and forth. I was like, "Oh, this is classic." And now I see where he got his inspiration.
Yeah, it was this movie for sure. Yeah. There was a weird thing, but no, the first thing where I'm like, what is this movie? I believe it's Mike at one point just has a turkey fetus in his hand.
Oh, so he goes into his office and there is a wiggling, writhing fetus just sitting in like a bowl or something.
Why?
And then he goes up to David and he's like, "David, what the fuck is this? Why are you fucking with me? Why are you trying to ruin this establishment?" And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." So like we know it's Catherine as a ghost. Why would Catherine as a ghost do that?
A turkey fetus?
Yeah, it's implied that because like the psychic says later, "Oh, your wife sees your family as a bird's nest, and there's mama bird and papa bird and baby bird or whatever." So I get that, but why would she do that kind of shit? Because like, what's her end goal, Dan? What is Catherine's end goal? What does she want to do?
Do you really want to know? Like, are you asking me what the whole plot of the film is?
Yes.
Catherine wants to be with him forever, so she's trying to force him to commit suicide.
Yes. Why does she want to force? Is it because she thinks he's going to go to heaven if he doesn't do it any other? Like if she just kills him?
What, did she go to hell? Was that implied?
Yeah, she's in hell. Yeah. Because she's like, "I want you to come and stay with me in hell forever."
Oh, you're right. She did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the weird Catholic belief that suicide.
I guess that kind of makes sense.
Or hell.
My thing was just she can do anything at any time. So why doesn't she just kill Mike? Just kill him. He can't stop you.
We have a budget for the turkey fetus, and we have to include it somewhere. And I have my dick in this movie too. Don't forget that.
It's just Dan has a personal financial stake in this movie's success.
I'm just saying, like, as per your earlier comment, like, I feel like all the weird shit that we see is just somebody's specific idea who contributed money. Absolutely.
I think it made more sense when Catherine was not a ghost and had limited powers and had to use the control room, or when we thought that Catherine was just the altered personality of David, who was just gone insane and just assumed the role of his sister. You know, that made more sense. But now she says, "I'm a ghost. I can do whatever I want." She even tries to tempt him to go jump off his balcony. So she's like, just fucking kill him. I don't know. Who would have thought? A plot doesn't make sense in a movie like this. I mean, it's just unheard of.
I mean, this is just one thing.
My God.
Just one thing.
Can you believe it?
So after the turkey fetus happens, the next accident happens. The scalding females in the shower scene.
Yeah. We have this thing with Mike and these two girls, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to do workout later. Oh, you're going to do a special lesson with us." And they do this a lot, and you're like, "Yeah, we get it. He's going to have sex with those two girls and cheat on his wife. We understand that." And they all go off into the showers. We have our obligatory booby shower scene. All the girls are talking and be like, "I wish there were men here to have sex with us." And you're like, "Yeah, that's what girls talk about in the shower." It's definitely not super gross in there all the time, and they just actually take showers and then they're done. No, they talk about wishing dicks were everywhere. Yep, that's what happens.
Well, I mean, you don't know.
You're right, I wouldn't know. You're absolutely right. The same gag in the showers where it's like they get all burned or whatever, and then they just all run out,
I wish there
right?
weren't so many dicks in this movie and they can just be in here in the shower with me.
Too many dicks. I wish this handle for the knob of the shower was a big old dick.
Wow.
What?
I know what I'm gonna do later.
Fuck your shower knob?
No, like just fantasize about that.
Oh, wow. Fantasize about inanimate objects.
I'm gonna write about this on a forum somewhere. I wish I was a shower.
I wish I was a shower. It's a musical I'm working on. It's called I Wish I Was a Shower. It's not very clever. Anyways. It's about a guy who, get this, Dan, he wishes he was a shower.
But why though? What's
So
the
he could
motive?
clean the world.
No, so women can touch his dangly parts.
Nope.
That's what it is. That's what my version was. That's what the whole joke was. Thanks for
So he's
ruining
a
it.
pervert. I'm trying to make a wholesome family picture.
There's no such thing as wholesome family pictures.
Only Star Wars and Marvel. That is the new wholesome movie. That is the new everything. You must bow down and worship Disney.
I mean,
What's
been
happening?
doing that for a long time.
I know. There's one scene I wanted to bring up. There is a moment where a attractive young lady comes up to a dude.
Just sniff cocaine.
I did. I'm trying to control my sniffles because I have mild allergies.
Yeah, but you just went off camera for a little bit, and I heard a sniff. And you came
Oh no! Oh no, Dan! What? This mirror helps me with my allergies, and it's just a little salt on there. I don't know.
No, you have to break up the Zyrtec with a razor.
Okay. I like to break up my allergy pills
Exactly.
and arrange them in a line. So this lady comes up to this dude and starts hitting on him, and his response to reject her is that he says, "I'm beta and you're VHS."
I forgot about that.
Yeah. He's like, "I'm not interested in you because I'm a beta and you're a VHS." Like, what the fuck? Why would this dude bro ever say he's a beta for any reason?
The 80s were a really weird
You'd think
time.
he'd be an alpha, right? I don't understand. Oh, it was weird. And it was like a scene that didn't need to be there because those characters were not important.
For the listeners who's a younger audience, the gentleman in question was referring to Betamax, the other thing that came before VHS.
The Betamax.
The Betamax.
Yeah.
But then he would, like you said, he's like...
And why would he be the older version of that? Wouldn't she be the beta and he's the VHS? He's like the newer cool thing and she's like old hat.
No, all right.
Dan, why did you make the movie this way?
That's a good question. Because I want to say I did make this movie. I'd be proud of
Oh,
it.
God damn it. So then we have this little blender scene, which is kind of fun. So this woman is making
The juice bar.
smoothies,
Yeah.
and they're talking about all the different accidents that have been happening lately. And she pretends to get her hand stuck in the blender, and she's like, "Oh, no!" And it's just a joke. I'm like, why did they show us that? That's interesting. And then there's a huge payoff later on, where that same lady in a bee costume gets her hand mutilated to death. She cannot remove her hand from this blender.
The blender
which
did not let go.
does not make sense, but I loved it.
Yes, I did too. Okay, so there's the death scene that you loved.
All right, that is this death scene I found acceptable.
Okay, cool.
I liked it.
Good to know. Good to know. The first death scene with the automated bench press.
Oh yeah, the automated bench press. We didn't talk about the sexy dick asparagus either. Do you remember that?
God.
Where she's blind, right? So Laura has just come back from the hospital. We already said.
This is the part where I was saying like he's just being uncharacteristically
weird,
sexy
yeah.
because she has bandages on her eyes.
Yeah, so he's doing sexy stuff with her while they eat. But he grabs this big thing of asparagus, and it's like, it's a sexy dick asparagus, basically. You can imagine. And he just is like rubbing it all over her. I don't know. It's fucking weird. So there's a lot of death scenes in this movie that happen very fast.
Yes.
And I feel like I missed some stuff, or I missed writing this one down. But yeah, there's the scene with this dude he's using a chest press or something.
I think it's the beta guy.
Okay.
And yeah, he's using his chest press, and he's like, set it to 130 pounds, and he starts doing it. And then each time he goes back down, it's like, increasing to 140 pounds. Like,
wait, 2. Yeah, it keeps saying that. Like,
and then at first he's like, yeah. And then after 2 times, he's like, wait a minute. This isn't cool anymore, even though it wasn't cool to begin with, because I wasn't doing it. The computer was doing
wouldn't he
it.
be confused as to like, why is the
Like,
weight increasing? And I'm
immediately?
not
Yeah,
saying,
no.
Yeah.
So he gets stuck with his arms, like it's that chest press that makes your arms go back. Like I'm doing a visual thing. Your arms are like by your head, and then it presses your shoulders behind you, essentially.
Yeah.
And the weight keeps increasing to a point where like his ribs just fly out of his chest.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but it really doesn't make sense.
Oh, of
because
course not. But you
this
enjoyed
machine
it.
should be able to just stop, Like,
Okay,
it wouldn't
but
keep going
again,
back.
so the game was, is it stupid or is it good?
I like the idea. The execution is a little weak.
So stupid.
Yeah, I guess it's stupid.
Okay. I liked it.
Could have been done better.
I liked it.
Was there another?
No, the next one
death
is the
scene?
locker room scene. That's the
next
one
one's
that
the
I have.
locker room. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next one is this girl, one of the girls who wants to cheat with Mike. She's like, I'm going to go, or no, I don't know. It's just some random lady. Who cares? She's like, I'm going to go by myself. I'll be fine.
She literally says that.
At this point.
That was not Jared. That was a clip from the actual film. Thank you.
Yeah, that was, we just played a clip. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a pretty good movie, right? It's pretty good acting. How many accidents have there been? There's like 3 or 4. No, there's a man who basically has died.
Yeah.
His ribs have been ripped out. I don't know if he lived.
We can assume.
Yeah. How is this place still open? Like, what the fuck? So she goes to the locker room. The lockers start like opening and closing and like flapping around.
Yes.
At this point, you still think it's being controlled by the machine. And I'm like, why would the machine control when the lockers open and close? That's crazy. So she's backing up. She's like backing up into an open locker. And you think she's going to fall in and get locked in? But no, a steel pipe comes out of the locker and just stabs her through the head. Is that what happens?
The throat, I think.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? That happens to another guy in a sauna, where just a random steel pipe comes out of the sauna and stabs her and goes, "Bleh."
Stupid or good?
Just not, I don't know. It wasn't executed the way I thought it should.
But you know what did do well?
What?
At the same time as this girl going out on her own and she dies, Mike and Laura, I guess,
Yeah.
they come back to the spot after hours to check on something.
To get her things, I guess.
To get her things. And then he goes to get them, and then Laura, being blind and bandaged, she has to just not stay where she's supposed to stay and wander around.
Yeah.
And this film gives you a pretty damn good jump scare in which you see Laura, like, you know, bending down to pick something up, and as she picks up, the camera follows her back up, and then you see the dead woman in the locker.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good. I mean, it's not necessarily you jump because there's no sound with it, but it's like just very startling. It's like, oh, there's a dead body there. That's awesome.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked there was no music sting.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Is this the same scene where a lady sneaks up to like attack her?
Yes.
That was so silly. So I think it is Tom, the lawyer's girlfriend or something. Like she walks up in what I can only describe as the old
same
grandma mask. Yeah, from Curtains.
From Curtains.
Another a way shittier horror movie than this. This movie is
Yes.
way better than Curtains. So she walks up, and then Mike sees this on a camera. He runs to go save her. He grabs that lady and takes the mask off, and she's like, "Do you like my costume?" And we're like, "What the fuck are you even doing here this late at night in this weird costume? You're being real suspicious." She's dressed in a costume for a blind lady. It's like,
Yes.
I don't understand.
But it gets even weirder because from this scene, we cut to immediately a scene with Mike sitting in a rocking chair in his boxers, but the way he is positioned and the way the camera's hitting him and how there's shadows on his body, it literally looks like he's naked. You scream and vomit in your mouth in a little bit because it's not fun.
I'm having trouble remembering the order of things that happened in this
Well,
movie.
after that, you go into the psychometry reading where you info dump psychic bro,
Yes.
like tells you everything and he recites the script as we have discussed before. And then he just, after he gives you your information dump, his only role in the movie is to wander around the spa with his like fancy
EKG meter.
EKG dildo thing. And you can see he's kind of the crux of some scenes, but he doesn't ever say anything. It's just, you just see him doing stuff with his, it's like he's not finding anything conclusive. It's ridiculous.
I enjoyed him as a character. I like that direction where Mike thinks that it really is his ex-wife haunting him from the grave.
Mm-hmm. But unrecognizable ashes.
No, no buts. I just enjoy it. I like this weird addition of this character of like, my spa is haunted. Can you see if it's true or not? And I like how that guy's a skeptic. The magic man or whatever the fuck. He's like, yeah, I'm going to bring this gun in case shit isn't magic and I can shoot it.
Then there's a scene where Tom and the girl he confronts them at his house or something. Like Mike confronts Tom and his girlfriend, and are like, "Are you guys behind fucking with my gym and all these accidents?" And they're basically like, "Yes."
Oh yeah, that was funny. That is a little later, but he somehow figures it out that they have been fucking with the systems, because they show a scene where Tom and his girlfriend are like messing with the computer. They're like, "We're gonna turn off the AC." So what their plan is, they want to run Mike out of business so they can buy up the gym and just rebrand it. So they also have this party. They do a Mardi Gras party at the spa, which is weird. I don't know. I've never heard of anyone doing anything like this at a gym or a spa. But apparently it brings in a lot of revenue.
I've never really heard of a gym's patronage being so tight-knit that everybody knows everybody at this party. It's like this gym or spa is only for the friends of this guy who made it.
But yeah, it's a little bizarre.
So at one point, they kind of suspect David, like the police do, and they're like, "Oh, we've probably got a psycho on our hand, and he likes to dress in drags." Mm-hmm. And that was the police chief, and I'm like, "All right." The first thing, as a police chief, I would never, ever, ever say probably a psycho. You're the one thing that has any authority in this film, and you're like, "I'm not too sure, but he likes to dress and drag a lot." Let's ring him
Anybody who dresses in drag is a psycho. I'm the police chief.
Probably a psycho. I don't know.
Next death scene, by the way. One of the women that Mike was going to cheat with gets handed a note by a mysterious woman who we don't get to see her face. And Dan, I don't know, if you're at a spa and some mysterious man came up and handed you a note, wouldn't you be like, "Who the fuck are you? What's going on?"
It depends. You can say that about so many other works of fiction where, like, freaking Harry Potter is like, "Oh yeah, this guy came up and he gave me an egg." And he's like, "Here you go." And I just took it because,
It had 38 Horcruxes in it, and I solved everything in one sentence. I defeated the Voldemort.
But no, to be fair, I would present her with 3 questions. Who are you? What is this?
Who are you?
And why do I care?
You know what? I guess it does. I would think it's weird, but I'd be like, all right, I guess. If
Am I drunk?
Always. In every scenario,
then, yes,
you
I
are
would take it
fucking
from her.
wasted.
I would take it from her, and I would be like, "Hey, do you have any more of whatever you just gave me? Because I'm a man of indulgence."
The allure is that they're going to go meet in a secret place to do sexy time. So I can understand how she could be tricked by this. So she goes into the basement and wanders around in darkness. Some weird shit poltergeist stuff starts happening. She's like, "This isn't funny, Mike. I'm not having fun." And then the sprinkler system turns on.
Again.
It's like the same death.
We're playing clips from the film.
Yeah, and then she gets sprayed by chemicals, but in this one, this is a good one.
This is a good one.
Because she falls down and she hurts her leg and she's trying to crawl away and she gets melted. They actually do a whole melting scene where her whole body is melted.
Yeah.
And then later on, when the psychic guy or whatever, he's investigating, finds her, and her face is all melted, but she's still alive, and her heart is exposed and beating. And I'm like, this is ridiculous, but I love it. That was fun. I like that. I also enjoyed how the psychologist guy gets killed.
Oh, tell me about that.
Whoa. So he sees the body. He's like, "Oh shit, ghosts are real. Everything I know is real. Oh no." And he runs. And then the cross-dressing ghost, a ghost possessing her brother, attacks him and throws him up into the air really, really high, like 3 stories into the air. And I'm like, now I'm sure this is supernatural. This is like the first moment where you're like, okay, this is definitely supernatural. It's not just the spa killing people with the machine stuff. Because that was fucking insane. Then she throws him onto this gurney. It's like a mailroom gurney thing. I don't even know why they have this. It's like a mail chute. And he like rides down it. I don't know if anything else happens to him. He just gets thrown around but like a rag doll. I was like, this is fucking crazy.
You like that. All right. Noted.
Why did you not like it?
No, I'm just curious to see where your heart lies in terms of, is it stupid or do you like it?
Okay, Dan, did you expect that to happen?
No.
For the man to be thrown by a woman,
No, of course not.
basically to the roof.
Listen,
Like, that was
I'm not the one
fucking
who
out of
has
control.
problems. I'm not the one who's like, oh, there's some of these stupid death scenes. I think every single one of them is fantastic.
Well, there's one that is the crowning jewel of amazing.
So it's
Near the end of the film.
So we
That
don't
is-
have to fight
Oh,
good.
two. There are two that are so
What, the blender?
amazing.
And then the freezer, right?
There's the freezer and the mirror death
Oh,
that
you're
happens
right.
really fast.
No, well, I mean the mirror is good, but the crowning jewel, because I wrote that
Freezer.
like very very similar terms. Like, I think I said freezer death takes all.
Oh yeah.
Well, then I'm glad that you don't think that's stupid, because
No, it was fucking amazing. It was the best thing in the
it
movie.
was,
I was like,
inexplicable. It was upsetting, unnerving, silly. It was everything that it could possibly
Sexy?
be.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, dude,
Oh,
you don't even know.
the infamous. Why don't we just talk about it a little bit?
Let's
so
talk about it.
we have
It's
the
blender
that
scene.
blender scene at so there's a Mardi Gras party at the end. And the girl actually gets her hand stuck in the blender and it rips her up. And then the police detective who
He's
is
trying
there,
to help her out.
yeah, he's been trying to hit on her the whole night.
And then he's
now
like,
this
"Why
has
can't you
happened."
take your hand out of the blender?" Like,
Yeah, it's like I
He
don't
asked her that.
understand. He is covered in blood.
yes.
People are still partying all over the place. No one has seen any of this. And he's like, I'm just going to stand here in blood, I guess. And then the freezer door opens and sucks him in like poltergeist style. And he's like, yeah! He gets thrown in. The door shuts. He's freezing. Bottles start exploding and breaking.
Wait. He's okay. The first thing is he's sucked in. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
all right, I'd take that.
Yep.
But he starts screaming bloody murderer
No one
whenever
hears
the bottles start breaking, and he's just doused in Pepsi and champagne
Yeah,
like that's
yeah.
hurting him.
Yeah. It's so bizarre. And then there's sushi at this party. I don't know
Sushi?
why.
I
There are
don't know.
actual
I'd
dudes
call it
preparing seafood.
Frozen barracuda, because you don't eat those, I don't think.
I don't think so, but there's a frozen barracuda in the
There's
fridge.
like 3 frozen barracudas.
It
like,
comes to life,
yes.
yells at him, and then rips his throat out, I think.
Launches off of the ice block.
Yeah. And a
rips his
sea
throat
of
out.
blood erupts from
let's
this man.
let's return to that for a second.
Oh, so good.
Yells at him.
Yeah. It goes, "Rah, rah."
The fish yells at him.
He goes, "Rah."
He lets out a battle cry before sinking his barracuda
Like a
jaws
true
into
samurai warrior.
the flabby, guttural skin.
I could watch an
of that
entire horror movie.
gooseneck. What? With barracuda?
Yes. I could watch an entire horror movie based around that barracuda. Where he just goes around and like pops out of things. Like a dude is on a toilet and he just like jumps out of the toilet like and just goes up his ass or something and comes out his mouth. I would fucking watch that for sure. 100%. And it would be called Barracuda.
Ooh.
And we'd have that Barracuda song playing. And he's got like a cool hat. And he like drives a motorcycle. Oh yeah.
Monocle? Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fucking rad. And then I'd have a scene where, because I remember this very vividly as a child, doing glass bottom boat rides
Oh yeah.
where I used to live. And there'd be barracudas in the water, and those are scary as fuck. But it he breaks through the glass and says like a one-liner, like "Yeah, ice to see you" or something. I don't know. Where do I put my money, Dan? Where does the money go to make that happen?
Well, okay, so here's what I think happened. In reference to just the overall form of this film.
Yes.
The guy who had the biggest dick in this film, he was the one that oversaw the freezer death. I think.
He had the most innovative peni.
He just took up the most space.
It was. God damn it. Anywho, we got reverse high-fiving going on, Dan. Because we got two bros who were excited to be bros, and they're turning off the machine for good to stop
Yes.
the evil that is wrought, and they have a plan. They're like, we're going to set up guards to keep this machine off and keep this Mardi Gras party going, even though I don't want it to be happening in the first place.
He sets it to manual, like that's going to fix everything, yes.
The only reason that Mike lets the party happen is because his friend, his lawyer, Tom, says, you should not close the business down because this is going to bring us a lot of revenue. But now he knows that Tom is trying to sabotage his business.
Their friends.
Yeah. So he should not have the party because he knows people are trying to murder other people at his gym. When he got the cops, the 2 police detectives, to come to David's house, I thought they were going to Tom's house to fucking arrest him for trying to sabotage and kill people and hurt people.
You don't sell at your best friends, man. Snitches get stitches.
But no, Tom is with his girlfriend at the party, and they go to the sauna and get killed, I guess. Oh, it's so crazy. So now we have all these deaths at the Mardi Gras party, right?
Yeah.
There are so many. You're going to have to help me remember who gets killed and when it happens. I don't remember. So there's a sauna thing where just a pipe comes out. It doesn't make any sense. There is the one I remember the most is the mirror scene where this woman goes up to a mirror and the mirror just starts shaking uncontrollably, like whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm like, what the fuck? Is it going to blow up? And it explodes into a million pieces, shoots out towards her, and rips her into shreds. Yeah. Not even bones are left. And like, people have been dying left and right at this party, and people just keep dancing. They're like, I'm going to keep dancing. I'm going to keep dancing. And this was the only murder.
Another clip from the film.
Hey, I love partying. Oh, I'm at the gym. I'm partying.
It sounds so fucking accurate.
I'm at the gym. And finally, they are like, this place is dangerous. We should leave. Because before that, we have the climax of the film, which should have happened at the end of the movie. Mike finally realizes that it's this ghost controlling his brother-in-law. And he's like, fight it, David. Fight the evil ghost. And he like is going back and forth, and then he finally she takes over his body again. She's like, you'll never stop me. I've got your girlfriend in a sauna, or not a sauna, I have your girlfriend in a tanning bed. And he's like, she's gonna burn to a crisp at a touch of a button. If I hit this button, she'll die, even though she's being slowly burned to death anyways. Then we have a weird cut of him running up to the console. The ghost lady's not there anymore, and you just hear a VO of, what are you doing? She's like yelling at him off screen, and he's typing in buttons like furiously, doesn't do anything. And then she knocks him through a window, breaks through the glass, throws him through a fucking window onto the dance floor.
And people are dancing around him. Yeah.
No one gives a shit. Nobody cares. I don't think anyone even looks over.
Yeah.
They're like, this has slightly interrupted my partying. I'm going to go party. Not even somewhere else, but around the mess. It was out of control. I'm like, guys, someone just got thrown through a fucking window. And if you looked into the window, you would see it was a small woman who threw a grown man through a window.
The 80s were a different time.
What the fuck? Oh, so I thought this was the big showdown. He goes and saves his girlfriend, which took a long time. They did a long shot of like him undoing the bindings. And I'm like, what are we? And then we have, like I said, like 10 more death scenes. Then people realize that people are dying, and they start trying to leave. Of course, they can't leave the club. And the resolution he has is, I'm going to go up to where the wiring is for the machine, cut all the wires, and put it into a shoe. Like, what does he stab it into to make it short circuit? I didn't understand.
It looked like a shoe to me, but
yeah, he's like holding a shoe, which I don't know the logistics behind that, but it seems wrong. I don't know if
the rubber sole, maybe.
Rubber sole would just make it short circuit.
No, just conduct the electricity differently.
But if he's already ripped these wires out, aren't they useless anyways? I don't know. So that electrifies the ghost man, woman, person thing. She explodes in fire and is burned alive.
Again.
It's...
one would say into unrecognizable ashes.
Yes, but it's David's body that's burned, right?
Yes.
But yet when you look at the corpse, she has long hair and everything. So it still looks like Catherine. It's very confusing. But Catherine and David are the same person. Did I mention there are weird voiceover scenes where it's implied that David has sex with his own sister?
Kind
who
of.
is a ghost living inside of him.
I think we just leave it at that. That's really good. I like that. I don't think that needs any
This
explanation.
movie is out of control. So the main character lives happily ever after with his second-degree burned, partially blinded girlfriend.
Only because he is definitely cheating on some. Like, he didn't learn his lesson, essentially.
I know. Did he? Do you think?
No.
Because there's no implied notion that he's going to change his life at all. The movie just
He
ends.
did not learn anything. He's going to go build up a new spa
Yeah.
and invite all of his friends to do it.
I mean, everyone's fucking dead. No, actually, I'm sure they'll just mop up and open it up again for the next
true.
day.
That's true.
Nothing will stop this spa from being open. I did enjoy the eyeball ejaculation from the corpse at the end of the film. 'Cause
Oh,
the
yeah,
corpse
that
is
was
still alive, and
gross.
it's like, I'm going to get you, Michael. Ah! And then her fucking eye explodes and just shoots out all over the place. I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but I love it. This
Yeah.
is fucking out of control.
I'm going to get you, Catherine.
Dan, is there a sequel to this movie?
I wish.
What would your sequel be?
Oh, man, that's a good question. Well, it would have to take place in a gym, but I would still call it Death Spa. It would be Death Spa 2. Mm-hmm. And it would be Mike, but he, for some reason... well, I'm not going to tell you the backstory of it, because it's gross. But he also becomes wheelchair bound.
Ah.
As if, like, his final comeuppance from his wife, and he has to operate this entire thing.
Maybe he's older and now he has a son or something.
Yes, but he's see, that's even better. So he's older, he has a son, but he kind of lurks around the halls of the gym with his wheelchair, and he makes squeaky noises in the dark,
Yeah.
things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Real
then
spoopy.
the son's like, "Dad, why are you so creepy?" And he's like, "There's a lot that went down at my gym at one point," and then, you know, in the end, he just has gone insane because his wife won't let him, you know, touch her eyeballs anymore.
Ew.
And and he's also
I am the Papa Bird, and you are the
yeah. He
Mama
just
Bird.
he just wants to reenact what happened
Yeah,
all those years ago because he's an insane person.
but it was secretly Old Man McGinty. David too shows up, but he's a machine now, and he's more powerful than he ever was. Oh, but he's also possessed by a ghost who is really an alien from the planet Smooshmoo.
They shoot barracudas out of their guns.
That planet, Dan,
Yeah,
is living inside the mind
of a barracuda.
of a barracuda! Of a barracuda! Yes, we figured it out. The entire plot of Death Spa 2 is just a fleeting thought of the evil barracuda. Oh, shit. Okay, so I guess final thoughts. I mean,
I'd watch
I
it
enjoyed
again.
this movie. It's really fun.
I'd turn it on Halloween and just let it play in the background.
Fuck yeah, man. It's great. Pretty fucking crazy nonsense. Lots of fun. I enjoyed it. So I believe you have a movie to assign us.
I have a choice for you, Jaron. You can choose between... Okay, there's a joke choice, too. Because I couldn't believe this. But it's been advertised on Facebook lately of being the one Netflix film that so many viewers turn off because they're so scared. Would you like to watch that and challenge the system?
Because usually when I hear that, I think of like the Blair Witch, and I'm not interested in those type of movies. Are you making me watch a found footage movie?
No,
Shaky Cam?
it's not a found footage film. I don't want to watch it at all. Just like I saw it advertised on Facebook, it's like the scariest film ever made. I'm like, whatever.
All right, what are the other options?
So you have I said it's a joke option.
I know, no.
Jeez, listen.
I'm not. I'm just saying, like, I want to hear all my options first before I decide.
I don't want to watch it. If you choose the one that I just said, I will kill you.
I would like to watch the one you just said. I'm just kidding.
all.
No, tell me
All
the other
right.
options.
So your options, Jared, are Forgotten
Okay.
or Bitch. Forgotten is a Korean thriller, and Bitch is a dark comedy.
Oh, we have to watch that.
Bitch.
Yeah.
You know what it is?
So we have to watch Bitch because the movie looked interesting to me. Netflix People have been giving shit to Netflix where they're like, it seems like it's becoming like direct to video. Like, oh, Netflix. They don't have good quality or whatever. They are coming out with
what it is these last
Netflix
3
originals.
months have exploded with amazing Netflix. Because they used to suck really hard, but now like you have The Ritual, you have The Poker King was actually really good.
Yeah.
And then Outsider looks really good with Jared Leto.
Yes. There is a movie we did not talk about. I might assign it at a future date called Ravenous, not the old Western, but it's a zombie movie, and it's a foreign zombie movie, and it looks really good. It looks different from any other zombie movie that I've seen. So very artistic, I guess is what I would say. But yeah, there's a lot of good movies. I mean, besides Mute.
Yeah, that was weird,
Don't watch that movie. But, it's either like really good or really bad.
Bitch it's pitched as comedies, dark comedies, or dramas on Netflix. Cracking under the demands of children and a philandering, thankless husband, an overworked suburban mother assumes the persona of a ferocious dog.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to be a dark comedy because it looks like it's going to be intense.
Yeah.
But I may just watch that Korean one without you because I really want to watch it. If it's good enough, I'll assign it later. But yeah, we'll watch Bitch next week. Okay.
Yep, that one looks really good. I'm excited. So, guys, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. If you made it this far, you're a treasure and you're special. And we love and care about you and think about you all the time. Why don't they say anything back to me, Dan? I mean, I poured my heart out. And they didn't reciprocate.
I know. They're terrible.
Please find us on
You
Twitter,
can
old
reciprocate
school,
by-
old boys
by
_
rating
podcast.
us on iTunes. 5
Yes.
stars.
You could rate us 5 stars on iTunes or other places where you review podcasts. We're everywhere. We have RSS feeds in the internet. We are on Stitcher. We are on Podbean.
Spotify.
Is our big host. So that's everything. I hope this is something, guys. Hugs and kisses. Dan, you have the final word.
David, fuck the machine. Was it your sister? It's alright, we know it was your sister. Alright.
What the fuck?